To remain updated with the latest business news, click on the bell icon.
Yashish, Alok, great to have you with us. A big congratulations on the listing. Firstly, how does it feel that you've got this huge event out of the way and listed at a solid premium as well? Yashish.
I think it's a good feeling. It's still sinking in. The team has worked extremely hard over the last 13, 14 years, and it's good to get some appreciation of that work and some recognition of that work. We are very happy that so many investors. I think now we have 400,000 investors or something. So that's a lot of investors, and we feel responsible, and we also at the same time are very grateful for the support, because it's just there are 4 lakh people out there who believe in us. That's fantastic.
Absolutely. Tell me some of the key takeaways. It took a little while for subscription to pick up. Were there pockets that you were surprised about, or were there pockets that were overwhelming as well? Because by the end of it, of course, it was oversubscribed. And, we heard great things from the market. If anything, I think they thought perhaps it was going to be a slightly more expensive one to buy into. It wasn't really about, any questions to do with the business model. But what were some of your takeaways from the kind of investor response you saw?
See, in my opinion, honestly, these businesses, and that's not just us, it's all of us, whoever, all the tech businesses that are going public today, they are really not being valued for what they are today. They are being valued for what they have the potential of becoming in 5 years, 10 years time.
Sure.
And that to a large extent depends upon how the management teams will focus and execute over the next 5 years and 10 years. For management teams that believe this is the destination, I think the future would be very bad for investors. And for management teams that believe that this is a part of the journey and we are really here to build something fantastic, I think investors can do well. Now, the only thing I would say is the prices are either too high or too low.
Okay.
They are never correct, because these businesses are 0 ones. They either make it very big or they are not there anymore at some point. And I think, somewhere that aspect, when you're looking at traditional valuation parameters, you're looking at valuation parameters for disruptive businesses, this part usually gets missed and people get boggled down by multiples and this and that. It's like, looking at a 5-year-old child and saying, okay, what will his net value over his lifetime be? It's almost impossible to tell. It depends on how that child will function from when they are 5 to when they are 55.
Sure.
You get what I mean?
I totally get what you mean. And that's interesting, because does this now put a little bit of pressure in terms of living up to expectations, given that valuations are already, towards the higher end when it comes to, as you said, all tech listings, and even in the case of PolicyBazzar, now that you're a listed company, is there going to be more pressure to live up to the dream?
So we feel responsible. We do not feel pressure. If we felt pressure, it would be destructive for shareholders, because I think we have 2 parts to our business. One is the core activities and one is the experiments. The experiments are what build the future. Focus on core activities and a huge amount of focus on both the growth side and the efficiency side on the core activities is essential, and that's what we are kind of valued for, right? As a company, we've always done a fine balance of experiments, and if you look at our history, we've been built with about $150 million of burn, and that's 2 brands, PolicyBazzar and PaisaBazaar, each built by about $70 million of burn. Today, if you look at the valuations, I think it's a good return for investors. So we have not, I wouldn't say we are overly frugal, because sometimes being overly frugal is value destroying.
Sure.
At the same time, we are not wasteful, and I think that is how we will stay. Nothing changes. We are very determined to build a business which is very strong into the future. Now, if that implies short term, the metrics shift a bit, I hope we as a management, and I'm certainly determined not to be, deterred by those. And I think if I get deterred and if our management team gets deterred, we focus too much on, are we profitable this year? Are we profitable this quarter? Are we profitable next quarter, etc.? It'll be value destroying, not value accretive. And I think that's the message that shareholders should take away. This is a business which is built for the long term. Don't focus on quarter. Look at the core business and how that's evolving.
Of course. Well, now that we are, however, going to be seeing quarterly earnings, Alok, I think I should put this one to you. And what perhaps you have in store for us as you hit the ground running? How soon are we going to have to, look at some of those targets that you've set for yourself? What's on the agenda?
No, definitely we'll be obviously sharing quarterly results and quarterly KPIs as a listed entity. See, but as Yashish mentioned, there are three parts, right? The core business will focus on efficiency and we'll share those data with the public markets and with the exchanges at the right time. We will also continue to focus on experiments because that is very, very important for us if we look at next 3 years, 5 years. But I don't think we are going to change our ethos of focusing on mid to long term.
Okay.
Just to give an example, there are decisions where sometimes when you take it in the first year, it may not look the most efficient decision because you're seeing the current year data or current quarter data. But if you look at that decision in hindsight for last 3 years or 5 years, that is the right thing to do for the business. And that will drive a lot of top line, a lot of profitability both. So we as a management team and founding team will be very, very clearly focused on decisions which are going to create value for all the stakeholders, whether it be investors, whether it's our customers or industry. So, we are not trying to change the way we work or we want to, we don't want to give a message which is what market wants to hear just because, that's the way things are. We want to stay true to our values and true to the business that we want to build.
Okay. So, Alok, I understand that, of course, in PolicyBazzar, even in our previous conversation, you've always talked about how you look at slow and steady growth, or not necessarily slow, but steady, consistent growth. You do have a lot of plans in terms of the offline part of the business as well. I just want to get a sense of how soon you expect that to start reflecting in numbers now that you've got the IPO proceeds, you're looking to really step up the ante on that front.
So I think if you look at this year, they won't be a significant part of our business this year. They will be there, but they won't be a significant part. They won't make a meaningful change to our business. There may be some upfront costs, etc., that do start to appear. Next year, I think that part will have a meaningful impact on business, and we're fairly confident of that. And please understand I think this offline is being badly misunderstood despite our best efforts of trying to explain it. We are not putting people out there to go and scout for customers, nor are we expecting customers to walk into our stores.
Right.
That is not what we are doing. All we are doing is for customers who applied online and who feel that a physical meeting is the best way to convert for them. We are willing to organize a physical meeting. That's all it is. And so far all our experiments in that direction are proving to be very encouraging. And all I can say is I wish we had started this 7 years ago, rather than 3-4 months ago or 5 months ago. So I think, but at the same time, very hopeful about how we scale up that particular side of our business. And next year, it will definitely be meaningful.
Okay, fantastic. Just one last question. In the interest of keeping it real, I'm also curious as to what you see as the biggest challenge. And I would ask this to any company that's looking to grow in your industry specifically, and now that you've set yourself these targets, is there any challenge that you feel one would also have to address or tackle on the road to growing further?
I think we do have to solve certain challenges over the next 2 years.
Okay.
Those are around customer service and around enabling very efficient claims for consumers. Today, I believe a lot of consumers hesitate to buy insurance because they believe the claims experience might be a bit painful. While we always have a lot of stats that say a large percentage of claims are being paid very quickly, it's the customer who does not get his claim on time who, feels very unhappy about it, and rightly so. He's paid a premium with an expectation, right? And I think we will put our energies along with all our partners to make sure our experience for the customers changes. Because if that experience changes, the customer will have more confidence in interacting with our industry and buying more insurance, especially the health insurance, life insurance products. And on the customer service onboarding, we're going to put in a disproportionate amount of effort in these two areas. And those are challenges. It's not an easy industry because you need a lot of data, you need a lot of information. And sometimes, that can be a challenge. I think the government is taking very good steps with the National Digital Health Mission and various other things. The Vahan database. So lots of databases. The data lakes are being created by the government, the account aggregator framework, the work we do on PolicyBazzar with the credit scores. So a lot of these data lakes will help bridge some of these challenges, but those challenges do need to be bridged. Today, those challenges exist.
Gentlemen, thank you so much. Congratulations again on a great listing. I hope you get a chance to unwind and enjoy. Knowing you, you won't. You'll be on it already. But but congratulations from all of us. Thanks for taking out the time.
Thank you.
Thank you, Aabha. Bye-bye.
If you like the video, do like, comment, share and subscribe.